In this tremendously growing market, Six Sigma is equally gaining its importance accordingly. According to research, Six Sigma has a market share of about 27.7%. Now, everyone is trying to fetch jobs related to Six Sigma. So, one must acquire all the knowledge necessary to get the job in your hand. Getting ready to clear the interview is also required. If you're a fresher looking for Six Sigma interview questions and answers, then you are at the right place. When getting interviewed for this position, it is better to prepare answers to all the questions. The more familiar you are with what questions you might be asked, the better your chances of clearing the interview. Here are some critical questions you must be prepared for in your interview. Hello everyone. This is George from Invensis Learning. Welcome to our YouTube channel. To make you easy to understand, I have divided it into 3 sections based on the category, that is, Basic Six Sigma Interview Questions, Technical Six Sigma Interview Questions, Role-Specific Six Sigma Interview Questions. Let's start the video by discussing some of the basic questions. The first question is, what is Six Sigma? You can answer like, Six Sigma is a method that provides organizations a set of tools that helps in improving the success of their company. It is a disciplined, data-driven approach and methodology that usually aims to eliminate defects in any process ranging from manufacturing to transactional and product to service. In general, it means a measure of quality that strives for near perfection. It also has a generic or customized name for the organization like operational excellence, zero defects, or customer perfection. The next question is, where do the Six and Sigma come from? Just brief what all you know. Sigma is denoted by the symbol, which is a Greek alphabet. In mathematical terms, it represents the standard deviation of a particular population. It characterizes the dispersion of a set of data values with respect to mean. It also refers to the mathematical concept of standard deviation. Thus, aspects that are within +/6s, Six Sigma from the centerline of the present control chart was created by a process that is considered well controlled. In simple terms, there is little deviation from the standard and it is also within tolerance. The next one is, what is a Six Sigma level? You can reply in the following way. Six Sigma level is a measure of an error rate of a process, based on the DPMO estimate. DPMO means defects per million opportunities. It is a long-term estimate of the process. Six Sigma is represented in a normal or bell curve in statistics, where each interval indicates 1 sigma or 1 standard deviation. In a normally distributed process, 99.73% of measurement will come under plus or minus 3 sigma, and 99.99932% will fall under plus or minus 4.5 sigma. In a normally distributed process, if the mean plus or minus 3 sigma range of output is between the range, then around 99.997% area of the points of the result is non-defective. In simple terms, one can say the process is at a Six Sigma level. The 6 refers to the ability to fit the good outputs of the process to fit within 6 standard deviations, or sigmas. Another way to say it is that only 3.4 defects occur per every million opportunities fall outside the control limits. The next question in the list is, why do you think Six Sigma is important to any organization? Six Sigma is one of the successful tools for many organizations. This is because it identifies the problems, removes the defects, and improves their business processes. Many established organizations use Six Sigma methods to achieve improved quality and reduced costs. Some of them are: it reduces wastes, improves efficiency, increases customer loyalty, improves the organization, encourages the employees. One can achieve higher revenues with lower costs. The fifth question is, according to you, where all Six Sigma is used? Six Sigma is usually associated with manufacturing, but everyone must also learn that this methodology is also applicable to every type of process in any industry. In all settings, organizations use Six Sigma just to set up a management system that systematically identifies errors and provides methods for eliminating them. So, where all Six Sigma is used? It is used to define an unknown cause or situation, or when issues are not well defined. Or, in those conditions where problem-solving tools fail. Or maybe when other approaches to address the issue are inappropriate. Thus Six Sigma is used for maximizing customer satisfaction by reducing the number of defects. For improving the process of an organization by designing and redesigning new innovative processes. In general, it is used in manufacturing industry, industry, government sector, healthcare industry. Next, we have, how do you think Six Sigma is used in the manufacturing sector? Six Sigma in manufacturing industry. Six Sigma plays a vital role in the manufacturing/improvement industry. Implementing Six Sigma in this kind of industry will be beneficial as it was designed especially for the manufacturing industry itself. To make, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control process of Six Sigma is used in industries. The main aim of implementing this system in the industry is to produce products with minimal defects. To specifically mention, the main goal is to make sure that there are less than 3.4 defects per million products. Then, we have. According to many companies, Six Sigma has many key elements. Can you mention them? Unlike any other quality improvement philosophies, Six Sigma is composed of main key elements. Everything we do to remain a world-class quality company focuses on these essential elements. Higher quality leads to satisfied customers and ultimately higher profits. So, the key elements are: employee, leadership of the process, need for improvement, process, customer. The next question is: can you mention some of the key features of Six Sigma? Six Sigma is a highly disciplined process. It usually helps us focus on developing and delivering near-perfect products and services. Six Sigma mainly aims to eliminate waste and inefficiency. Their main goal is to increase customer satisfaction by delivering what the customer is expecting. Six Sigma follows a structured methodology and has defined roles for the participants. Six Sigma is a data-driven methodology and requires accurate data collection for the processes being analyzed. Six Sigma is a business-driven, multidimensional structured approach dealing to produce error-free products. Next. What according to you are the principles of Six Sigma? Explain them in brief. The first principle is: focus more on customer. As mentioned earlier, the customer is one key element of Six Sigma. Six Sigma is about improving quality. And this term quality is more associated with customers rather than any other individuals because every industry prioritizes the opinions of these customers only. The next principle is: identify the root causes of the problems. Understanding the process is very essential to correctly identify the root cause of every problem. This means understanding the process deeply about how it is working is required. To accomplish all these, you must have a clear picture of the goals of the company. To do this, one must identify the data and establish the expected insights. Also, one must ensure that proper communication is taking place. And, at the last, just establish a standardized data collection system/process. After all these processes, one must determine whether it is providing the required insight and meeting the established goals earlier. If you feel no, then, recollect more information and refine the data collection plan. Eliminate variation. After getting to know the root causes of the problem, make changes to the process that can eliminate variation and eliminate defects from the running process. Also, take care of the ways to eliminate steps that do not add value for the customer. This will usually help in eliminating waste. Don't wait until variation to become obvious. So, better be proactive in identifying variation and eliminating it. The other method to perform this is collecting adequate data, talking with appropriate people, studying the data properly to find variations in the process that may have become accepted because that's the way we've always done things. Next, we have teamwork. Six Sigma usually requires more people. It involves teams and leaders who take responsibility for the Six Sigma processes. And it is recommended that these people on the teams need to be trained in Six Sigma's methods, like the Six Sigma measurement methods and improvement tools, because they will have to use these in every step. In addition, they must possess great communication skills so that they can involve, serve, and communicate clearly with both coworkers and customers. Thus, they must have a variety of skills and backgrounds related to a process that will help the team spot variations. Moving on, we have: be flexible. The key to Six Sigma is the ability to change or adapt procedures as needed. Six Sigma requires flexibility. The business's management system needs to accept positive changes as well as empower change. Employees should be motivated to adapt to all the changes that are asked. Next. Mention the terms DPMO or DPPM. DPMO is the abbreviated form of defects per million opportunities. DPPM is the abbreviated form of defective parts per million. Here the defects are inclusive of flaws on an item. It is the ratio of the total number of defective units and a sample-to-sample size. Then, in any organization, who all will form it as a part of the Six Sigma implementation team? The Six Sigma implementation team consists of the following: Six Sigma deployment leaders, Six Sigma champion, Six Sigma master black belt, Six Sigma black belt, Six Sigma green belt, Six Sigma yellow belt, Six Sigma white belt. There are many levels in Six Sigma. These Six Sigma training levels associated with specified training requirements, education criteria, job standards, and eligibility. There are master black belts, green belts, yellow belts, and white belts at the project level. These people usually deal with conducting projects and implementing improvements. The first level is white level. This is the first and simplest stage where any new member can join. But at this level, the professional can work on local problem-solving teams that usually include overall projects, but may not be part of a Six Sigma project team. Also, he must have a good understanding of basic Six Sigma concepts. The next level is yellow level. This is the second level of Six Sigma. Participates here acts as a project team member. They must also get involved in reviewing the process improvements that support the project. Also, he must be aware of the various methodologies, and DMadv. The next one is green level. The green belt is the third level of Six Sigma. Here, they assist with data collection and analysis for the projects taken by black belt professionals by leading their projects or teams. This level of expertise requires the following criteria. Minimum of 3 years of full-time employment. Understand the tools and methodologies used for problem solving. Hands-on experience on projects involving some level of business transformation. Guidance for black belt projects in data collection and analysis. Lead green belt projects or teams. Then, we have black level. This is the next belt for Six Sigma professionals. These professionals lead problem-solving projects. They also train and coach different project teams. This level includes the following. Minimum of 3 years of full-time employment. Work experience in a core knowledge area. Proof of completion of a minimum of 2 Six Sigma projects. Demonstration of expertise at applying multivariate metrics to diverse business change settings. Leading diverse teams and problem-solving projects. Training and coaching project teams. Lastly, we have Master Black Belt. These professionals function more at the Six Sigma program level by developing key metrics and the strategic direction. They are trainers and coaches for black belts and green belts. And also acts as an organization's Six Sigma technologist and an internal consultant. To reach this level, a candidate must be in possession of a black belt certification, have a minimum of 5 years of full-time employment, or proof of completion of a minimum of 10 Six Sigma projects, a proven work portfolio, with individual specific requirements, as given here. For instance, have coached and trained green belts and black belts. Develop key metrics and strategies. Have worked as an organization's Six Sigma technologist and internal business transformation advisor. Along with different levels, each project needs organizational support. And this is done by Six Sigma executives and champions. They set the direction for selecting and deploying projects. And also ensures the success of projects at a higher level. Next, we have. Do you have any idea about Lean? Yes, sir, I can give you a brief description of Lean. Lean is a philosophical way of working. Core to this philosophy involves the principle that expenditure of resources for any goal other than the creation of value for the end customer is wasteful and therefore should be a target for elimination. This principle is applied from the perspective of the customer who consumes a product or service. To explain in simpler words, Lean means creating more value for customers with fewer resources. Thus, Lean is defined as a set of management practices to improve efficiency and effectiveness by eliminating waste. The core principle of Lean is to reduce and eliminate wastes, that is, non-value-adding activities. This mainly aims at maximizing customer value while minimizing waste. So, what according to you is Lean Six Sigma? According to IASSC, the American Society for Quality, Lean Six Sigma is a fact-based, data-driven philosophy of improvement that values defect prevention over defect detection. It drives customer satisfaction and bottom-line results by reducing variation, waste, and cycle time while promoting the use of work standardization and flow, thereby creating a competitive advantage. It applies anywhere variation and waste exist, and every employee should be involved. To explain in simpler words, Lean Six Sigma is a combination of Lean and Six Sigma. It combines the tools, methods, and principles of Lean and Six Sigma into one popular and powerful methodology for improving your organization's operations. Lean principles help to reduce or eliminate process wastes. Six Sigma focuses on variation, reduction in the process. Thereby, The principles of Lean Six Sigma helps to improve the efficiency and quality of the process, by reducing wastes. Lean Six Sigma's team-oriented approach has proven results in maximizing efficiency and dramatically improving profitability for businesses around the world. The next one is: what are the different variations that are used in the Six Sigma process? To begin with, there are 4 variations that are used in most of the Six Sigma process. They include: the first one is mean. Mean is nothing but the average of the acquired measurements. It is used for a particular application and then the values are calculated. Next, we have median. The median is initiated by identifying the highest and the lowest values and then divide the value by 2. In simpler words, this process is measured by taking the midpoint of the dataset range. Then, we have range. This process depends on the highest rate and lowest values for a specific data range. The last type of variation is mode. Mode is the most occurred value in a given dataset range. Next question is: what is a top-down approach in the Six Sigma process? The top-down approach is nothing but the processes within the Six Sigma implementation. This approach is aligned usually with business strategy and customer needs. The major disadvantage of this process is that its scope is very broad and at the same time it is difficult to execute it in a specified amount of time. The next question is: what is correlation and residual analysis? Just define them. Correlation. Correlation means a statistical relationship involving dependence. Here, the probability runs from -1 to +1. In simpler words, if 2 random variables are 100% correlated, the correlation coefficient would be either +1 or -1. If there is no correlation, the correlation coefficient would be 0. Thus, correlation measures the relationship of the process inputs, x, on the output, y. Residuals analysis. Residuals are nothing but the estimates of experimental error obtained by subtracting the observed response from a predicted response. The predicted response can be calculated from the chosen model that has been estimated from the experimental data. Residuals can be thought of as elements of variation unexplained by the fitted model. Similarly, residual analysis is the study of residual plots that can be used for validating the goodness of a regression model. For a good model, the residuals have to be random and normally distributed. Then, we have: explain briefly about standard deviation. The most accurate method of quantifying variation is by using standard deviation. Standard deviation indicates the amount of variation in a set of either measurements or a process by measuring the average spread of data around the mean. The next question is: what are the advantages of Lean Six Sigma? Lean Six Sigma is one of the continuous improvement methodologies that many companies follow. It impacts the core of an organization's approach to delivering customer outcomes. The benefits of deploying Lean Six Sigma are multifarious, some noteworthy ones captured herein. Let us take a look at benefits for the business and then benefits for the individuals who attain any level of certification in Lean Six Sigma. Their benefits include: simple process, talent development, reduces errors and defects, suitable for all types of industries, increases quality, improves brand value. Next, we have how Six Sigma can be used in various terms. First, we have Six Sigma as philosophy. Six Sigma views all work as Six Sigma is a process of defining, measuring, analyzing, improving, and controlling the aspects. It just requires input and produces the outputs. If you want a controlled output, you can get it by controlling the inputs. This is generally expressed in the form of y as a function of x. Thus, it is a philosophical perspective. Next, we have Six Sigma as a set of tools. Six Sigma uses qualitative and quantitative tools to drive process improvement. These tools include statistical process control, SPC, control charts, failure mode and effects analysis, FMEA, and process mapping. Then, we have Six Sigma as a methodology. Most of the time, Six Sigma uses the DMadv approach for implementing its process is certainly the most widely adopted and recognized. DMadv defines the steps that a Six Sigma practitioner usually follows, from identifying the problem till the ending with the implementation of long-lasting solutions. Last, we have Six Sigma as a metrics. Six Sigma quality performance means 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Six Sigma quality is a term generally used to indicate a process is well controlled, within process limits plus or minuses from the center. The last question in this basic questions, we have how Six Sigma is used in the IT and textile industries. Describe what all you know. Six Sigma in information technology. DMadv process, one of the Six Sigma methodology. It is used in the information technology industry in the same way as that of the manufacturing industry. This is because Six Sigma is a project-based approach, and thus IT uses a series of processes for implementing Six Sigma in the industry. But implementing Six Sigma in this industry is not that easy. There are several steps involved in each process while applying the principles of Six Sigma. By developing efficient processes makes the employees more productive and creates a better overall experience and increases the profitability of the company. Six Sigma in textile industries. Textile industries are one of the right places to implement Six Sigma methodologies. This is because it increases the stability of the industry in the market and also increases the company reputation. After knowing some of the important fundamental questions of Six Sigma, let us now start the discussion with Six Sigma technical interview questions and answers. The first question in this category is: what are the commonly used quality management tools of Six Sigma? There are many Six Sigma tools used by many organizations. Some of them are 5S, Process Mapping, Pareto Chart, PDCA, 7 Wastes, Visual Workplace, Quality Function Deployment QFD, Sipoc Diagram, Process Flowchart, etc. What do you know about the Pareto Chart? A Pareto chart is one of the 7 basic tools used for quality control, which is a combo of a bar graph and a line graph. A Pareto chart is a simple technique of RCA which is a combination of a bar graph and a line graph. One can notice the presence of both these bars and line graphs on the Pareto chart. In simpler words, a Pareto chart is a graph that indicates the frequency of defects, along with their cumulative impact. The Pareto chart is built based on a principle. This principle states that 80% of the results are determined by 20% of the causes. Thus, you should try to find the 20% of defect types that are directly causing 80% of all defects. Then, we have the next question. Do you know about the Fishbone Diagram? Usually, a Fishbone Diagram is a combination of the practice of brainstorming with a type of mind map template that determines cause and effect. It is also used in the range from product development to troubleshooting processes used to focus a conversation around a problem. The Fishbone Diagram is considered as one of the 7 basic quality tools. The Fishbone Diagram identifies many possible causes for an effect or problem. It can be used to structure a brainstorming session. It immediately sorts ideas into useful categories. A Fishbone Diagram is one of the visualization tools used for categorizing the potential causes of a problem. This tool is usually used in order to identify a problem's root causes, so it typically becomes a root cause analysis technique. If yes, explain in brief. Yes, sir. Consider a company where they produce a product. But, due to no proper marketing, they are not able to reach more customers. So, they start using a Fishbone Diagram to find the problem. Now, how they use the Fishbone Diagram? Let us take a look at it. According to the procedure, first, write the problem to the rightmost side. Now, draw an arrow where you mention all your reasons for the causes. Then, add arrows to mention those reasons. So, what all would be the main assets? Those are place, people, price, promotion, and many more. But, the top ones would be these. Now, understanding the terms of each aspect, we can find the solution for the problem. So, starting with the place, the first point is, no proper area. You need to find a proper area where you can find a good amount of customers who can choose your product. Next, proper selling of goods is not happening. You must choose that place where you have the choice of selling whatever you need. Then, you need to be sure that no other people are selling the same or similar kind of product. Next, we have people. The first point is, no good customer. It is true that you cannot impress everyone with your product, but you need to have some regular customers with you. Once they are fixed, you can get a small promotion of your products through them. Then, no loyal customers. To keep our customers loyal, you must be sure about the quality of the product you are selling. Then, we have price. No clear ratings are present. Due to this, customers may shy to reach you. No clarity in the amounts mentioned. You may be having 2 pieces of the same product, but both are of different cost. And, you may face loss due to this. Then, we have promotion. Firstly, no proper promotion, maybe through social media, pamphlets, or any other medium. Then, lack of communication. Because of this, you are not able to showcase your products. Next, we have. Can you explain the concept of PDCA? You can reply like, yes, sir. The Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle is a 4-step model used for carrying out change. This brings continuous improvement if implemented. Thus, the PDCA cycle is considered a project planning tool. The PDCA cycle mainly aims to establish a continuous model for the continuous improvement of processes by identifying the problems. PDCA is also used in any learning process and improvement. PDCA is a simple and effective approach for solving problems. It is very helpful for implementing total quality management or Six Sigma. Upon that, it can also be used in companies of all sizes to improve and optimize management. Then, PDCA is an iterative approach that allows control and analysis of the problems. Also, it encompasses much of the same framework as strategic management. Then, we have Explain DMAIC. DMAIC means define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. It is a data-driven quality strategy that is used to improve processes. Every letter in this represents the phases of the process. This method uses cause and effect analysis to display the causes of defects visually. The define phase is the initial phase of the project. Here, the project leader is selected and provided with a high-level description of the problem. Some Yellow Belt project team members are also present. The project team takes input from stakeholders and customers to understand the problem from their perspective. During this time, they mainly focus on the aspects that customers consider to be critical quality expectations. The measure phase is the second phase in the Lean Six Sigma method. Here, measuring the performance of the process, product, or service with respect to the critical quality is done. Each step in this phase is measured based on time, quality, and many other attributes that were important to the customer's needs. Usually, the perfect measurement system does not exist to collect this data, so a measurement system will need to be developed and verified so that it can provide accurate and complete data. The analyze phase is the third phase of a Lean Six Sigma project. Here, the process and product data are analyzed to determine the root cause or causes of the customer's problem. This phase uses lean analytical tools and the Six Sigma statistical hypothesis testing techniques to determine the root cause. Usually, the measure phase data is more than sufficient for the analysis to take place. However, sometimes, the analysis will point to an area requiring further study and additional data may need to be collected. The improve phase is the fourth phase of a Lean Six Sigma project. Here, team members create a solution to the problem that eliminates or contains it. Depending on the nature of the problem that was identified, various team members will play accordingly by giving a larger or smaller role in the creation of the solution. In this improvement phase, the solution is developed appropriately and then tested. This may become the most expensive phase depending upon the nature of the solution. This is often the most expensive phase. But by the end of this phase, the solution is prepared by the team members. The control phase is the final phase of a Lean Six Sigma project. Here, the solution is implemented completely. This control phase will not get completed till the solution is stable in all aspects of the business, and until that does not create any changes to the operation. Every member present in the project team gets involved with this implementation so that even small changes required to their departments are fully implemented. In simpler words, this phase continues until the process has demonstrated stability in its performance. This phase may take a few days or sometimes may also take several months too. So, a control plan is always set in place for monitoring the process, product, or service. This phase is completed only when the operators and managers of the process no longer require support from the project team. Next question is: explain what do you mean by FMEA? You can answer like: failure modes and effects analysis, which is usually referred to as FMEA, documents current knowledge and actions about the risks or failures to bring continuous improvement in their workplace. Failure mode and effects analysis, FMEA, is a structured approach that is used to discover some failures that may exist within the design of either a product or process. Failure modes are one of the ways in which a process can fail. Effects are one of the ways that these failures can lead to many wastes, defects, or harmful outcomes for the customer. So, failure mode and effects analysis is designed mainly to identify, prioritize, and limit these failure modes. Then, we have: what do you know about root cause analysis? Root cause analysis, which is usually called RCA, is a systematic approach used to analyze the fundamental problems before trying to solve them, ultimately aiming to isolate and identify the main root cause of a problem. This plays an important role in any organization because it helps solve. Preventing the event from occurring is more palpable than reacting to the resultant harmful effects. The RCA process usually involves data collecting, causal factor charting, root cause identification, and recommendation generation and implementation. It's typically used when something goes badly, but can also be used when something goes well. Within an organization, problem solving, incident investigation, and root cause analysis are all fundamentally connected. Upon that, RCA may be used to target opportunities for system-wide improvement. Root causes are specific underlying causes that can be reasonably identified, are within management's control to remedy, and which generate effective recommendations to prevent recurrences. The next question is: what do you know about MSA? MSA is Measurement System Analysis. Measurement system analysis is an experimental and also mathematical method that determines the percentage of variation that occurred within the measurement with respect to overall process variability. It is an objective method that assesses the validity of a measurement system and thereby minimizes the factors contributing to process variation that is actually stemming from the measurement system. Bias, linearity, stability, repeatability, reproducibility are the 5 parameters that are to be investigated in an MSA. Then, we have: tell me about process capability and its types. Coming to the topic of process capability. Process capability is a term used to measure the relationship between the voice of the process and the voice of the customer. A capable process can be defined as the one in which almost all measurements of a feature produced by the process fall inside specified limitations. There are several types of indices that are commonly used in this. It can be calculated by taking a ratio of the customer requirement or specification to the expected process variation. Process capability is the ratio of the voice of the customer to the voice of the process. This term explains how well a process performs relative to the VOC. And it is a prediction method to know how well your process will meet customer requirements in the future. Process capability can be seen in 2 categories. The first one is short-term capability. Here, the potential performance of a process is under control at a point in time. It can be calculated by taking data over a small period of time without any external influence on the process like temperature change, shift change, operator change, etc. Short-term capability represents the true process capability. Then, we have long-term capability. Long-term capability is the actual performance of a process over a period of time. It can be calculated by taking data over a period of time long enough such that external factors can influence the process. Long-term capability represents both the technological capability combined with the controls that you exercise. The next question in the list is: what do you know about imperial statistics and hypothesis testing? Inferential statistics. Inferential statistics is a set of methods used for drawing either conclusions or inferences regarding characteristics of the populations based on data from a collected sample. This statistical inference's main objective is to draw conclusions about population characteristics based on the sample's information. Inferential statistics allow a person to make inferences about a population on the basis of data collected. The inference and a measure of its validity are the 2 elements of inference. Hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing uses statistical analysis for determining if the observed differences between 2 or more samples are from what kind of random chance or to true differences in the samples. In simpler words, it tells us whether there exists a statistically significant difference between the data sets required to consider that they represent different distributions. From a practical point, finding statistical evidence that the null hypothesis is false allows you to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. Steps to be followed in hypothesis testing are: first, one must determine an appropriate hypothesis test. Then, state the null hypothesis HO and alternate hypothesis HA. Soon after calculating the test statistics. Then, interpret the results. Then, we have talk about simple and multiple linear regression. Simple linear regression. Linear regression is a mathematical term that measures the relationship between 2 variables. In context to Six Sigma, these are usually variables in a business process. In simpler words, linear regression is a statistical technique that is used to estimate the mathematical relationship between a dependent variable which is usually denoted as y and an independent variable which is usually denoted as x. In other words, predicting the changes in the dependent variable is done according to the change in the independent variable. For example, when conducting an analysis, linear regression is a simple tool employers use to locate the cause of errors. Multiple linear regression. This is just an extension of a simple linear regression methodology that we discussed just now. As already told, simple linear regression is to study the 2 variables in which one variable is an independent variable x, and the other one is a dependent variable y. In other words, predict the change in the dependent variable according to change in an independent variable. While multiple regression is used to build a model that allows us to study this interplay. Multiple regression-based models will use the data to create a function that usually predicts the outcome based on the independent variables. Next question is: give a brief description of SPC. Statistical Process Control, SPC, is a process improvement methodology. This method is usually used to monitor, control, and continuously optimize a process. In other words, SPC is a method of quality control that employs statistical methods to measure, monitor, and control a process. It is used to improve the process by eliminating special cause variation in a process. SPC can also be used to analyze and control process performance, proactively control processes, distinguish between natural and assignable variations, identify and prevent processes from special causes, and involve the use of control charts is used to determine if a process is operating in control. Define the terms: the voice of the customer, the voice of business, and the voice of the employee. Voice of the customer. The voice of the customer is a term that identifies needs and requirements which feed the project selection. As customers are the key element for process design, their voices are required to define value-added services and products. Additionally, through their use of products and services, they provide feedback that helps the company identify new product development opportunities. Voice of the employee. The voice of the employee is essential for the working of the company. The employee voice brings personal ownership and a sense of responsibility that employees can directly contribute to the business's success. Through this voice, employees provide a dialogue with management that sheds light on how well they apply the company vision to their daily tasks and how they will engage within the project selection process with department champions, project sponsors, and belts. Voice of the business. The voice of the business is usually derived from financial information and data. Through this, analysts can identify market weakness, utilization of investment capital, research and development status, and process complexity. The next question is: what idea you have on CTQ? Critical to quality characteristics. CTQ's A Critical to Quality is a Six Sigma tool that is usually used to identify the needs of the customer and translate the same information into measurable products and process requirements. It also helps the organizations understand the characteristics of a product or service that most drive quality for customers. Six Sigma projects are directed at any number of CTX requirements are now discussed. 1. Critical to quality. 2. Cost of quality. 3. Critical to delivery. 4. Critical to price. 5. Critical to safety. Next. Give a brief introduction to the Sipoc diagram and value stream mapping. Surely, sir. Sipoc diagram. Sipoc diagram is a Six Sigma tool that is used for documenting business processes. It visually documents a business process from beginning to end. Because the diagram doesn't contain much detail about the process, it is often called a high-level process map. The Sipoc diagram is one of the top-down analysis methods that help to pinpoint how value is delivered to the end customer. The methodology analyzes 5 main aspects of the process, that are: suppliers, who are responsible for supplying the process inputs. Inputs, what kind of inputs are required? Processes, what are the steps included in the process? Outputs, what are the process outputs? Customers, who all can receive the outputs? To create this diagram, just draw 5 columns, for each of the aspects. Then, list out the respective information. Value stream mapping. The value stream mapping is a technique of the current flow of materials and information to design a future project. The main objective is to eliminate waste and inefficiencies in the value stream and to create leaner operations. It also identifies 7 different types of waste and 3 types of waste removal operations. Now, define the terms gauge, repeatability, and reproducibility. A gauge is a tool that can be used for measurement. A gauge can either be simple, like calipers and rulers, or also be a complex piece of machinery. It could also even be a piece of software. Repeatability. Repeatability is nothing but the variation between successive measurements of the same item, measured by the same person using the same gauge. Reproducibility. Reproducibility is defined as the difference in the average of the measurements made by different people measured using the same instrument on the same part. The next question is: name and explain any 3 classes of distributions. Chi-square distribution. This type of distribution is used to make decisions and construct confidence intervals. But, this type of distribution is not used to model physical phenomena, like time to fail, etc. This distribution is also a special case of gamma distribution with a failure rate of 2, and degrees of freedom equal to 2 divided by the number of degrees of freedom for the corresponding chi-square distribution, which is also considered a sampling distribution. F-distribution. This type of distribution is usually used to make decisions and construct confidence intervals. Like the chi-square type, this distribution cannot be used to model physical phenomena, like time to fail, etc. This F-distribution is used extensively to test for equality of variances from two normal populations. Student's t-distribution. This distribution is a combination of both a standard normal random variable and a chi-square random variable. This is usually used for hypothesis testing and constructing confidence intervals for means, and also in the place of the normal distribution when the standard deviation is unknown. Then, we have. What are the control plans? Control plans. A control plan is nothing but a summary written for a process that shows all detailed steps to be taken for maintaining a process or a device. Control plans typically include a description of each step in the process and include all the parameters that are required to keep and ensure that no excessive deviations from mean performance or variation in a batch of products. Cost-benefit analysis. A cost-benefit analysis is a type of systematic process that usually businesses use for analyzing the decisions that are to be made. The cost-benefit analyst sums the potential rewards expected from a situation and then subtracts the total costs associated with that particular action. The last question in this category is: mention and describe all kinds of charts you are familiar with. IMr chart. An IMr chart is a graphical tool that is used for displaying process variation over time. It is also known as an individual and moving range chart. It shows a signal when a process goes out of control and shows where to look for sources of special cause variation. Next. X-bar chart. X-bar charts are usually used as a control chart for variable data for examining the process stability in most industries. Then. U-chart. The U-chart is used with a varying sample size where you are counting the number of defects in the sample. Later. P-chart. The P-chart is used when the data is in whole numbers, as in counting. It is known as discrete, also known as attribute data. NP-chart. The NP chart is used when the fixed sample is present. This is used where you are counting the number of defectives in the sample. X-bar S chart. X-bar S charts are often used as a control chart used to examine the process mean and standard deviation over time. This type of chart is used when the subgroups have a large sample size and the S chart provides a better understanding of the spread of subgroup data than range. The next chart is custom chart. A cumulative sum chart, custom, is a control chart used to detect the deviation of the individual values or subgroup means from the target value. In other words, monitor the deviation from the target value. Custom chart is an alternative to that of Shewhart control charts. The next one is UMA chart. UMA charts is a moving average chart that is usually used when plotting continuous data for detecting small changes over a small period of time. They detect shifts of 0.5 to 2.0 sigma faster than that of X-bar and IMr charts but are slower in detecting larger shifts in the process mean than that of X-bar and IMr charts. Now that you are aware of the common technical Six Sigma interview questions asked in an interview, let us now see some of the scenario-based Six Sigma interview questions. The first question in this category is: have you completed any projects? If yes, how did you set goals while creating them? To answer these types of questions, you must describe the projects you really worked upon and those you have a clear picture of. This is very important as the answer to this question will decide the direction in which the rest of your interview goes. According to your reply, the next set of questions would be framed. Coming to the project goals, you can answer like: the project goal refers to achieving the desired result at a specific deadline employing a specific amount of resources. The project goal should be the basis for the SMART approach, which we could see by the confidence interval how the process is behaving. Then, on what basis will you decide whether the projects belong to the black belt or green belt? Just answer how would you decide the project level. For example, you can answer like: these criteria purely depend upon the advantages we would get after the projects and the area of projects that we're related to. Depending on the scope of the project, like the company level, it should be counted as a black belt project. However, if it is limited to one single process, it would be considered a green belt project. Next, we have: if the data is non-normal, what hypothesis test should one do? You can answer like: if the data is non-normal, one should try to make data normal. If doing that is not possible, then one can easily use the non-normal hypothesis testing, as per their subgroup size. Also, if your data are not normal, you should do a non-parametric version of the test, which does not assume normality. You may look at the non-parametric version of the test you are interested in running. If you are given a Six Sigma project, what aspects do you consider in the first place? For this question, the answer depends on you. The perception of starting a project changes from person to person. Just explain the way you need. For example, you can answer like: firstly, one should see the stability of the process, that is, like the project is in control or not. Then, one must check if data is normal or not. If the process is not stable, then one cannot run the project. So, try making the project process stable. If that is done, then one needs to consider the process normality. As per the process normality/non-normality, we do the process capability to see whether the process is capable enough to run the project. After this, you can follow a particular pattern to start a project like: first, align the concept of Six Sigma to the stakeholders. Then try collecting appropriate data and mark the main points. Soon after that, create an agenda, and regularly be tracking your actions with the expected plans. Now, mention some of the Lean Six Sigma project types. Answer all the Six Sigma projects you are familiar with. Quick win projects. Popularly known as the Just Do It project. Here, the main point is, if the problem is known and so is the solution. Thus the fix is painless. Then, we have process improvement projects. These are known as PDCA. Here the issue has an undefined cause that leads to unsatisfactory results. Designing new process projects. Popularly known as DFSS, these projects involve creating a brand new process that did not exist previously. Thus, there is no benchmark process to compare. Redesigning of new process projects. This is nothing but re-engineering. This method focuses on overhauling processes that are proven completely ineffective. Implementing new infrastructures. It is also known as process management. This step involves establishing key measurement systems. So how do you estimate the cost of Six Sigma implementations in the organizations? You can answer this question in the following way. Well, the cost of Six Sigma implementations is estimated by the organization in many ways. Some of those which I am familiar with are: the costs associated with Six Sigma implementation can be paid out from the direct payroll of the company and then identify the individuals involved in this process full-time and paid accordingly. The second type is an indirect payroll policy. Here, the individuals are identified and pay out based on data gathering, measurements, discussions with the product owners, etc. A third estimation is purely a consultative approach. Here the consultants will be paid based on the number of hours they have to spend to train and mentor the team. A last estimation is completely a different approach towards the Six Sigma process. The payout happens based on the process of improvisation. Which factor is responsible for implementing Six Sigma? One can answer this question like: profit and business improvement is the main reason for companies to engage and undertake quality improvements by Six Sigma. According to many companies, Six Sigma is not just a quality improvement methodology but also provides better value to customers, investors and employees. Six Sigma is a business initiative or a way of doing business that improves both quality and productivity. It also increases competitiveness and reduces cost. By controlling the amount of variation within the allowable upper and lower limits of a process, the frequency of out-of-control conditions reduces. Taking Six Sigma as part of doing business usually reduces errors, identifies and corrects deviations in processes, and impacts the success of the organization. The next question is: explain DMadv if you have existing processes and do not meet the required quality standards even after improvement. You should conduct a DMadv. It refers to define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. This approach is different from that of DMAIC. The application of DMadv is used to improve, adjust, or create an entirely new product or service. This approach mainly aims to produce a high-quality product, keeping in mind customer requirements at every stage of the game. Consider a situation where a person wanted to start a textile industry. So, how will he apply for DMadv here? First, he or she defines the aspects that are to be added in the textile industry, like machinery, clothes, measurement tapes, etc. Next, those people will measure the possibility of those aspects defined in the previous step. Next, they analyze the situation, whether the acquired aspects are suitable for the work to be performed. Now, it is time to design the estimated industry, so these people start to design for the textile industries. As soon as they design, they have to validate those aspects whether it is working with proper efficiency or not, and this becomes a verified state. Then, we have: tell me any of the 2 Six Sigma techniques you are familiar with. Over the years, Six Sigma has been used through a clearly defined process. Thus, Six Sigma techniques are very much necessary. Now let us learn about them. The first technique is brainstorming. Brainstorming is one of the key processes for many problem-solving methods. It is usually used in the improve phase of the DMadv methodology. It is a necessary process before anyone starts using any tools. This technique involves creating ideas and capturing creative ways to approach a problem. Next, we have 5 whys. Unpredicted issues in any system are a problem for any team or process. Fixing these issues soon may be a convenient solution for this. One prominent method for doing this is by a Six Sigma method called 5 whys. The 5 whys technique is one of the most effective tools for root cause analysis in the lean management arsenal. Every team faces roadblocks in its daily work. However, using the 5 whys will help you find the root cause of any problem and protect the process from recurring mistakes and failures. This Six Sigma method uses 5 questions to understand the root cause of a problem. It's a simple method to implement. The last question is: explain lean controls and Six Sigma control plans. Coming to lean controls, one should try to answer this question like: according to James Womack, lean control is a process for measuring and reducing inventory and streamlining production. It is a means for changing the way a company measures plant performance. It is a knowledge-based system. It takes years of hard work, preparation, and support from upper management. Lean is so named because it purports to use much less of certain resources, space, inventory, workers, etc., that is used by normal mass production systems to produce comparable output. Lean control is a great example of non-financial controls in action. This is used in improving the quality of products and services and thus decreases waste. Researchers say that up to 70% of manufacturing firms use some form of lean in their business operations. Six Sigma control plans. A control plan is one of the methods for documenting the functional elements of quality control that are to be implemented to ensure that quality standards are met for a particular product or service. The control plans intend to formalize and document the system of control that will be utilized. The main intention of a process control plan is to control the product characteristics and the associated process variables to ensure the product's capability and stability over time. Conclusion: every company hires a professional who has excellent values and knowledge. Hence, be sure of your ability before attending an interview. Be comfortable and explain your experience, and don't forget to highlight your knowledge. In addition to preparing the above questions, prepare a great resume that makes you unique. Also, taking a Six Sigma certification will help you a lot. We at Invensis Learning provide you a Six Sigma certification course. Enroll in it and clear your next interview. I hope this Six Sigma interview questions video helped you. If you think we need to create a video on any other topics, please mention it in the comments section. Thank you.